Oh, great. Thank God Terra didn't contribute the points now. So So
Rip.
I think the OBS restarted. 10,000? How did you contribute 10k?
Total.
Oh, total. Oh, I see. Alright, where's the thing? Okay. No matter. No doubt Miss Pablo will use some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. It was merely an example. The logic holds.
Well, there's something else. Snakes have no ears.
I think
that
that's
doesn't
true.
mean they can't hear.
Ugh.
Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling.
Actually, isn't that true? That snake has no ears?
Well, having no ears doesn't mean you can't actually hear. You just have
You just feel it, right?
different means of listening, right?
I think they can just feel it because they're so close to the ground. It's kind of like not echolocation, but like what's his name?
Toph does.
The famous.
Like what Toph does in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, kind of like that. But he can hear, right? She's just blind.
Well, yeah, but she senses vibrations.
Yeah, like
that's how she sees, right?
Yeah, and
that's how she knows where absolutely everything is, because she knows the vibrations that they give off when they touch the ground.
And also, there's this thing in India where you use flute from snakes, right? The flute, so they can dance in the pot.
Yeah, there is the using a flute in order to control a snake's movement.
But madam, what of this tales from Arabia? Oh wait. Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sound of a flute?
I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements.
Lies. All lies. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears? These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. Don't take it on the snakes, Mr. Jones.
There is one other thing.
Sato, please. We were home free. You have more?
Snakes use the scales on their bellies to repel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins.
Then it should try harder. I mean, it's
Please,
not like...
Don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is...
It's not like that's the only thing that's there, right? There's also the wardrobe.
Yeah.
It could just go to the bed, propel itself on the wardrobe, and propel itself on the ventilator shaft.
Even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it wouldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this.
Oh, it's all back to me. Damn, you just killed Mr. Holmes.
I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo.
No, you definitely killed me. I am definitely...
No, Naruhodo-san! Naruhodo-san! Ah!
Dang it. Oh no, you don't mean...
Yes, we need to modify Mr. Chum's latest deductions and turn them into the great ones they ought to be.
Fine. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. Sure. So cast your eyes down to your wrist again. What? I'm free again. You've done it again.
Your handcuffs are gone.
Where did they go? Fear not, I shall see that they restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Maybe this time I'll put my hands in my pockets. Now everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning is spectacular. With Mr. Naruhodo. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing more to do with me. His whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet, you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She does have a pain expression on her face.
Yes, that's true. It looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind.
But you're not sure Mr. Holmes has read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then?
Let's take a moment. And look really close. And really look very closely at Miss Pavlova.
Oops. How?
Scratch.
Oh, I thought it's inverted. Never mind.
Oh, Naruto-san, look. That looks like a very painful wound.
That doesn't look like a snake, does it?
Nope.
What does it look like?
Looks more like a cat scratch.
It looks like a scratch made by some small animal. And fairly recently, too. I do wonder if
whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here.
Oh, I forgot.
He's so focused on everything else.
Yes, when you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, and simply observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night?
It could have been a ferret with speckles.
It could have been a bee. A Ribombi.
It wasn't Ribombi. Ribombi's a red herring.
Wait a minute. It could be. It could be a malefic one.
No, don't follow the red herrings. No red herrings. When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad.
Oh.
And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse.
So are you saying that you were inside that room? Hmm? And it is that very pain that evident your... Oh.
Evidence.
OBS went down again. What's wrong with you, OBS? Okay, it should be back. And it is that very pain that evidences your extricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that pretentious night? Why, naturally, it was that friend with which you boarded with his vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspect. Another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is that whistling servant we see before us. Seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by these friends of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes doesn't have claws, do they?
No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow.
Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers?
We should follow her gaze, Naruhodo-san. That's where we'll find the answer.
Ah, look at that photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought to her when she ran away.
She is exceptionally beautiful, isn't she?
Anything familiar, Terra?
It's Malefic Top Cat.
Yes.
Or maybe it's Tidus. It could be Tidus.
Yes, that's true, but personally, it's a little black creature she's holding that caught my eye. Also, is there anything else in the picture that you noticed?
There is a bell cup.
Do you know where the bell cup was?
It was broken on the floor.
Aha! So that means her cat must have been on the cabin inside. Maybe we'd take a closer look at this. See? No kidding. Oh, it's only that. The crown! That must be a stage costume she's wearing.
It's quite stunning. I should like to have something like that.
We already have something beautiful. She's wearing the 20,000 rubles on her head as well. Look!
It's called a tiara, Naruhodo-san, and you shouldn't think of it purely in terms of its value.
She must be a strong-willed woman. To turn her back on the world stage and run away on her own? The cat! Malefic Top Cat! Look at that little cat, Miss Pavlova. It's cuddling here.
Oh, what a cute little kitten! It could fly with you, couldn't it, Naruhodo-san? For the blackest outfit?
Okay, calm down. Calm down, Sasato-san. A black kitten. Haven't I heard of a black kitten before that has a hat? Where was it?
But this cat isn't wearing a hat.
Wasn't the cat in the hat? And from the look at this picture, at least, Miss Pavlova seems very attached to it.
Yes!
Without doubt, your friend is this little kitten we see before us. Yes, that scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear.
Oh no.
The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you?
Darka is my best friend.
Darkrai?
Darka! I couldn't leave her behind.
Darka would appear to be a Russian blue.
Ah, Russian blues are adorable.
Aww. I haven't seen a Russian blue cat. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observation of that night in question tells of a speckled band. Whereas, regardably, This specimen markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eye last night?
No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this.
Oh, but it does! You have the answer to this query, even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying but failing to conceal can only be the snake slouch skin.
Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back.
If she just left it in her pocket, no one would ever have known.
Oh yes. Toys like that are Mr. Shome's specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something.
I thought deduction was his specialty, or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too.
Anyway, I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake.
In which case, what is Miss Bablova hiding behind her back? Oh, wee! Well,
It's a cat toy.
it is speckled and it is a band, but what is it? Seems to be soft and fluffy. A long piece of cloth of some sort? From the looks like a handle at one end.
I think it might be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently.
How's that toy for cats?
Cats like to chase the band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them and they pounce to catch it.
Let's do this at cat stream. Maybe that will work. That sounds possibly adorable. Oh, what was the question again?
Yes!
That is the... What is the identity of the item that she's hiding behind her back?
Yes. The thing you're trying but failing to conceal is a cat's toy. Precisely. The true nature of the now infamous speckled band.
Huh?
And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume? Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Spablova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite a creature to return. Ah! In summary, the nature of this friends of Miss Spablova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka.
Yeah!
A truly troublesome feline young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photograph of your pet, Miss Pablova. The photograph of Miss Pablova and Darka has been entered into the court record.
It was after I gave her her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Orca, he's so naughty.
So naughty.
So very naughty.
A beloved kitten solved how Mr. Asoki died. Okay, this is it, Terra. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life and why? According to the data of which I have been appraised, it would appear that there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom.
What Mr. Shom says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body.
That's right. But Mr. Shom seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Oops. What?
You're eating yourself again.
I don't understand why that happens.
Yeet.
I'm just reducing my size so we can see Susato-san.
Yes, it would seem so. But it can't be seen. Let's give him the information he's missing now.
Yes!
Thank God that was right. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Ah, yes. I knew it was one of or the other. Of course you know.
His neck was...
Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seeming strong enough isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury's out. Anyway, we have a good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now we take that as a fact. We can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime.
Oh no, could there be?
Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. Kazuma died because his neck was broken? In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone.
Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though.
Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow.
I suppose... It's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly.
Awkwardly? How do you hit the ground awkwardly?
I mean, yeah, any hitting of the ground would be awkward.
It's so awkward.
It could have been a terrible act of a misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident.
Oh yes, bad fall could explain it.
It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man.
Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? What could it be?
It is the bell.
Yes!
And that...
I love that effect. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark is so permanently visible next to the victim's body. It has a deposit of shoe polish.
Shoe polish?
Indeed, possibly identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow and dye were my result, and the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. and the color of that polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Osogi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Osogi must have caught his foot at the point on the floor and tripped.
Please, no.
And by the dreadful churn of misfortune, caused his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life.
No! I don't know. I don't know anything about this.
Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Osogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntarily glance betrays the hiding place you choose. That's right. You hear the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case.
I don't believe it. Kazuma-san merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it.
I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. And if this part of Mr. Shulm's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes.
Where, I wonder?
Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere.
Hydrate, rabbit.
I will. I will.
I will also hydrate.
Double hydrate.
2 hydrates for the price of 1. This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them.
How are you, Marble? Welcome. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably, there's not much rubbish in there yet. This is only the chapter 2, so you're fine, Marble. Don't worry, I'll upload this on my YouTube so you can watch the whole thing. Oh, what's that?
It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before.
If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you.
I'm great. I've been here for a long time just listening while playing Friday the 3rd. Oh, I see. I was also, when I first played this game, I did examine the waste paper basket, but we didn't actually manage to investigate a lot here. Since, what's his name? Strongnov throw us out. I was checking this waste paper basket if there's anything inside it, and it says, oh, nothing here. I just scratch it. It's all paper. It's all paper. Then when it finally managed to go in this investigation scene, there's actually something inside. Like, are you kidding me, game? Are you kidding me? I examined that basket for like 5 times. And now it's here?
Yes!
That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket. Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely. We found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Osogi's cabin. And as you can see, the 2 pieces fit perfectly together perfectly.
Oh no.
So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that a part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin?
Yeah.
You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not?
I don't.
I don't know. In that hush Russian accent of yours? Won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question.
What?
Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Just because I'm not wrong yet, huh? Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell, that would be Arboretum.
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from darkest color, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. A young woman who lost... The young man...
Tesla is now a woman.
The young woman who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. Did I mention the victim was a woman? And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Daka.
I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry.
Couldn't tell anyone what? So.
Death by tripping over a cat.
Oh my god. I can't believe you killed my love by only that. It's an accident this entire time? So, if it was an accident...
Why did they write wardrobe?
Yeah, if he died, why did you write wardrobe? And you could just tell other people that it was an accident, right? Why didn't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night.
It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Daka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, he scratched me and jumped out of my hands.
People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments.
It was so fast. He disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her.
And that is how you equated your rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it?
Yes. And I had read the clue on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Daka with me.
Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really, for COVID, you know.
So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there is some noise in the next cabin.
Like the bed, that was nothing.
It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping.
So at that point... What?
I was just caught up in using my Russian accent. Sorry, go ahead.
Dun, 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 dun. You thought it was safe to try to lure the kitten back again. by dangling by the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin.
Ugh, I always loved this toy. But it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. It didn't return.
So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened.
Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then, oh, it was such a dreadful bang. And afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent.
Kazuma was... The appearance of the brown mark on the floor. It seems likely that your head was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The Espuria is a large vessel. Even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet. A combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards?
In the end, I managed to get her to come back to the ventilator.
Yet, Daka is nowhere to be seen.
I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again.
Gracious, that cat is insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least.
When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared.
Aww.
Scared that they would send me back.
What do you think, Terra?
I think that there's still more to it.
Oh ho. Is it a murder? Or was it just an accident?
I mean, if it was just an accident, there would be no reason to really put it down. Because it's like, hey, the ship pitched, right?
Mm-hmm. So there is still some unsolved mysteries that we can get. Number 1, Snake. Number 2, how did she manage to get the bell from the other side to here? Number 3, the wardrobe. Those are the third unsolved mystery. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? And where did it came from? Or come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship? Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Pirozko. Pirozko. What? What? That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But the animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. 1 year? You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear belly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake? Surely you can appreciate the danger of you putting everyone in. No venom. Pirosco does not have venom. He is harmless, very long but very gentle. He is adorable like Granny. It's venomless? Yes. Now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say they milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snake that drink milks are only in stupid stories. Like Terra's story. Well, apparently, Terra, you read a ridiculous story. Pirosco eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. Ah, oh, so is that what the mousetrap in the passage right out there is for? Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing stays top of the food chain like they look in their eyes right now. It refuses to drink milk? It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It is not my fault. I did not make up stories. It is the fairy who made up story. My brother's
Hey, it wasn't my story.
has nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. I do not believe this bullshit.
Miss Pavlova? I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then... no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you.
Oh shit. Oh god. Oh, Susato's mad.
But...
what are you talking about, Miss Mikotoba? Mikotoba. What the lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident.
I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Naruhodo-san?
To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess? I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues in this matter. Oh? I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you're not being finding your shackles too uncomfortable. What? Not again. When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrist as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matter before we made our next port call. You were Mr. Sholmes? You were Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owe him my freedom even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Bablowa's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you, Naruhodo-san.
Ah.
Like, I cracked it. I cracked it.
You cracked.
I cracked it.
From the pressure. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in the cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? This is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten and had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident.
Hold it!
Wait! Let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Bablowa's story here. The evidence is right here in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. This death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence is proof unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. I
would say that's the photo of his death.
Yes!
The fact that he wrote the word.
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asoki could have left this message on the floor. That script is Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native tongue. Japanese in this case.
But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast.
There is no way that's simple. It doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asoki could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah! Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead.
That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. Asogi-san. Like, I think the thing is, she's not speaking, she's technically not supposed to be speaking Japanese when she says Mr., I think. And that's why she says Mr. Because otherwise, I don't know if Shomes would actually understand.
Has she ever said Asogi-san? Or Mr. Asogi?
She said Kazuma-sama.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And she says Naruhodo-san, but that's only when she's talking specifically to
it's like honorifics.
Ryunosuke.
I guess.
Yeah,
it's like
it seems like she's using it when she's speaking to other people who are not Japanese.
Alright, that could be the thing. What?
I still think it sounds so
that could
weird.
Be accurate, yeah. So Susato-san has noticed it too then. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proved this was no accident. In other words, what could the evidence be that this proves this was no accident?
The ship's log.
Ship's log?
Yes!
What point are you trying to make with that evidence? I'm starting to see how Kazuma's death really happened, I think. I think that you all starting to see nothing of the sort, and that was the evidence to prove it. I was wrong, Terra. It was no accident.
If it was no accident, then what we should be looking for is one of two things. Either the absence of something you would expect to find at the scene of an accident, or the presence of something you wouldn't.
Most compendiously put, my dear madam. Ah, I see. I confess you're rather languid, I say. Doesn't fill me with confidence, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh god, they don't believe in you, Terra.
Don't worry, Naruhodo-san. I believe in you. Well, more than Mr. Shomes does, anyway.
They don't believe in you. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pablova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proved this was no accident. In other words, what could it be?
Not the ship glove, then. The bell? The mark on the floor?
Yes!
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over and the cat fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there is a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? That's really what happened? Then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Ah!
Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that wastepaper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no.
Both these pieces of evidence clearly points to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in this cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his guilt or her own guilt.
Yeah.
Do you think this girl is kind of like a... What's her name? Like a...
No, she's not a Giselle.
Giselle Britt?
Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi.
Hold it!
You're wasting time. Someone else was there? Of course. We know this. What are you talking about? Oops. Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Go. Yes. And the only other person in cabin when young student died was you.
Yes!
Yes, it was me. I confess my guilt. It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shot inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There was no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. In an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time.
And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died.
But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would have barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder, then, that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of that tiny item.
You all suspect me, don't you?
Hold it!
Seaman Strongnov? Nina is a woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on the ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal. So that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin? But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is almost interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You're a great detective. You should know. Look, truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you want to tell me that the killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it's impossible. He's right.
But wait! I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside.
Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barred doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used.
No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruto suggested it earlier, so...
Hey.
I'm just gonna go with it.
Susato-san, how could you ship it to me like that? So, Seaman Strongnov has a valid point. The cabin door could have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes.
Do you really know what Mr. Shums means, Naruto-san? I'm just like, whatever. I don't know.
Oh my god. Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. What could it be, Terra?
Bookshelf. The bookshelf.
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over?
That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before.
Yes, that's right. It is a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over.
I believe, yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia, acting on the object.
Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her textbook at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over the books on the bookcase also made something else in the cabin move. The vault on that cabin door.
Ah!
It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before and we haven't bolted the door. But then... Hello, is anyone there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like...
Inspector Hosonaga. Oh yes! That's it! When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door.
Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by a ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of Inertia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Asogi was killed? The SS Buria made another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelf had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hands across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over.
Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I?
Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asogi's cabin.
Oh my!
Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Babalova?
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind? You say Borea made emergency stop? It doesn't seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. No, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm?
Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to press the button in times of emergency.
Oh, Dark Knight. When the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence, the placement of a number of buttons around the vessels allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Wait, it was you! When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bells rings and the vessels come to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. It was
Does that mean he did it in the afternoon?
Mr.
Mr. Sholmes? Surely it wasn't you who...
As I always say, a button has one purpose in life. To be pressed. Whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin door slides closed. So, what we must now consider...
Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did the ship make an emergency stop or did it not?
You're idiots! Borea is a huge ship with many passengers. It will make emergency stop even in middle of night. There would be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruto? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. You have evidence to support that idea.
Really?
What's the evidence, Terra?
The fact that there is no record in the book.
Or...
What evidence, Mr. Naruto-san?
Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence prevented Troy that some emergency gripped this vessel last night? Ha 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 ha!
Yes!
Seaman Strongnov, it's your duty to report the first-class area of the ship, isn't that right? Ah, that is correct. Why? In the ship's log here, this would be where you record the details of your duties. What are you doing with that? That is mine! Ah, you're rather careless let it atop the little makeshift Euro in that passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return to you later. Like a thief. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is... Duh! Because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Boreal. Something sufficiently significant to make you all forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact.
Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish! If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed.
That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of the night.
Well, no, that's a good point. What of the trolling? Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. You have all suffered with it.
Ah.
Oh, yes, I have a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today.
Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn.
Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right. My head's been throbbing today too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside that wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was a throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why did I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. Stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Kazuma looked after me. Was already happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of that whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact. I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of the chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of that chicken at all? That's right. He didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? That does not strike you?
Oh. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken?
I do. No. Really? Is that really true? The meals prepared for the passenger last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of support designed to induce a very deep slumber into those who consumed it. The sleeping drug? Do you mean Whoever did laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop?
Naruto-san? Of course that's not what Mr. Jones means. What a far-fetched idea.
Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a support drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What?
Mr. Jones.
Well, Seaman? No. I'm sorry to say that any more deception on this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew, and the captain himself, would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. You notice that that in this specific scene that Herlock Sholmes is very accurate in his predictions now.
Because it's what he was actually pursuing here.
Because it's actually a Naruhodo was actually a distraction, and he was gonna leave this on the Scotland Yard so that they can discover the truth. So he was just playing around earlier. So right now, he knows what happened. He's actually being serious now.
Please, no more. I will tell everything.
Hey?
I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore.
His crewmen are your former comrades, I believe.
Yes, so when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me.
We all agreed to help, everyone together. She threw away everything, her fame in ballet, Mother Russia, who wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You're right. We put sleeping dog in chicken last night. Yes.
My favorite meal is my favorite place is in the chicken. I mean the kitchen.
The chicken. I mean kitchen. Yes, I remember now. The kitchen. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. Duh. We could not make old drug. How do you say dissolve? Talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight, in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrade on shore with small fishing boat. While all the passengers of the SS Buria slept soundly, thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So if that's what happened, the only person awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who disliked chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop to lock Kazuma's cabin door. How does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have even locked in that case. There would have been complete chaos. No? I wouldn't say so. What? Of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabin. After which, they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. What? And accordingly, All passengers were already in their cabin for the night.
Yes.
The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so, not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the locked in the morning. The door locked in the morning.
The locked door in the morning.
The door locked in the morning. Wait.
The locked door in the morning.
The door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolts of a single cabin door in the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a locked door. All told, a busy night.
But... I don't know about any of this. I am just a little girl.
You'd like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am Sailor, and Sailor doesn't listen to long, boring stories we don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I'm quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo, shit! Me again? Oh, yes? Do you hear it? The accusatory cry of guilt of the wind.
What accusatory cry of guilt?
Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears? No? You must have heard it with your eyes. Observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come. For one, final logic and reasoning is spectacular. To expose the truth. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said, of these two prevaricators. Observation?
I was like, prevaricators?
It was prevaricators.
Yes, prevaricators. It means items that tell the truth.
That provocates the items.
Basically, it's another term for evidence. If you remember, Naruhodo-san, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Sogi-san's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened.
Precisely. You're delighted too quickly to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows that someone else was there last night when Kazuma died.
Is it the marks on his face?
No, that's the snake.
Oh.
Actually, before we continue, I was looking for a great stopping point. Because it's very long. Because I need to go to the restroom. And also refill my water too.
So you just need a potty break?
Yes. Also, the next stopping point is very far away from here.
So you want to just call it for today and then continue from here next time? Where it's
getting
nice
some
and
water.
fun and bombastic?
Bombastic, you say?
Oh, there's ink on the back of his shirt.
Don't worry, I'll just gonna get some water. How about you, Terra?
Well, I still have some water left. I'll probably work on your bunny ears.
Alright. I'll be right back. Entertain chat.
Well,
Entertain,
it's not like there's anyone in chat.
entertain yourself. There's also one more.
Well,
I think
that's
it was
what-
Marble.
Well, I mean, yes, but it's not like they're talking.
Not like Marble's talking. I'll be right back.
Bunny, 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 bunny. Little rabbit, boo-hoo, walking through the forest, picking up the field nice and bonking them on the head. Along came the good fairy, and she said, Little rabbit, boo-hoo, I don't want to see you picking up the field mice and bonking them on the head.
Oh, it's crushed. My food
It's
is
what?
crushed. My cupcake.
Did you sit on it?
No, it's on my my bag. It has been crushed, but it's fine. I can still eat it. I'm actually very hungry. It's been like 6 hours since my last meal. That's why I'm hungry too. Also, what do we know so far?
Well, we know that he's got an ink stain on the back of his shirt, and there is ink on the floor in the cabin.
Actually, there's
what?
one more clue here. There's one more clue here that we need to examine. You want to know what?
Earrings? He has such petite ears among the beautiful hair like little pink seashells.
Oh, what's that? Something dangling from her ear. What is that? I've never seen that before in my entire life.
Oh, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it's made from wood.
Really? It doesn't look like it's made from wood. It looks like it's made from gold.
It's charming, isn't it?
Women do seem to love adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears, it seems.
Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruto-san.
See the earring, right?
And she's missing it on. She only has one. She She has such petite ears amongst that beautiful hair, like little pink seashells.
Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear.
I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry.
An earring, is it? It's really tiny.
Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off. So now that all that's left is the clasp part that's attached to the ear.
If that's the case, doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. I really thought that we're gonna finish this story in just 1 hour, but Jesus Christ, there's so many decisions.
Yeah.
So, that... I keep forgetting the controls.
Yes!
Seeming strong enough. You seem to have quite a large purple stain in the back of your white uniform there.
Me? Ah, yes, I don't know where the dirt come from.
So nothing in particular comes to mind about that stain.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
It will appear that the significance of that stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain.
What kind of stain was it?
Ink stain.
Demon?
God dang it! How could I miss that joke? How? How could I miss that joke? How could this happen to me? It's a very large stain on the back of the seaman. Strong enough uniform. And I think what made it is clear.
and I think what it made it is clear.
Indeed it is. So Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. Alright then, the evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Strong Enough's uniform really is. What could it be, Terra?
It would be the crime scene photo.
Here it is, it's written there. It's just black and white.
Yes!
So, how do you explain this, Seaman? How did you manage to get that ink on the back of your clothes? I mean, you were there inside the room, so nobody. Yes, it's this photograph, and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple. So unusual. Ugh. The penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. Oh, there it is. Now it's not black and white. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dried, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means it must have been present in the cabin. The moment immediately after the ink was split. Oh, I see. Genius, Holmes. Genius.
All right. Yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Borea do emergency stop and both cabin doors shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel.
Biff, please. Or actually, Biff,
Biff?
please.
Who?
Wrong voice. Biff.
Your name is Biff Strongnov?
Beef Stroganoff. So it's exactly what I was saying.
Wait a
He's
minute.
beef stroganoff.
Wait a minute. I forgot to do this.
It's beef stroganoff.
It's beef stroganoff. My God, we missed that. How could we miss that? Don't worry, Angel.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, but I didn't actually connect it with his first name being Biff.
I mean, we never heard his first name.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Please, you must help me.
I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. What happened here?
Please, don't tell anyone. My little one, my little furry friend.
Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you.
The kitten escaped through the ventilator in Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor.
Yes, that is right.
So after the incident, when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor.
She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on floor. That's when she went to look. No. Angel? The door was not locked. So she opened to look, and you already know what happened after.
There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind.
What?
When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why?
I already told you. When Nina opened door of student's cabin and looked.
I was asking Miss Pavlova.
Oh shit. Okay. Sato. Susato. Well, Miss Pavlova?
Duh. Is that supposed to be
Duh.
duh or yeah?
It's duh.
Duh.
Duh. Yeah. Yes, queen. Yes. Sato?
I
you
said
there?
oh.
Oh, did you?
I did say oh.
I didn't hear. I was busy
Yes,
saying yes.
that is right.
Yes, that is right.
Yes, that is right.
I told
I saw him. He was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared.
Could it possibly be that it was me? He said it was
With your
wearing
wing mustache?
black. Tastes like sugar. Like cotton candy, actually.
I understand, and I believe you.
Wing mustache. Ho ho ho.
You're enjoying the wing mustache now.
Yes. So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Cosmo's death at last? What do you think, Tara?
Well, where did her earring go?
Ah, something very neatly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. This photograph. Yes, I took it myself, you know. Uh-huh, sure. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. The unfortunate accident that precipitated this event. A kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there's one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. What do you mean, unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well... If Kazuma tripped and fell and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? What is it, Terra?
The writing, right?
No, it's not.
Not the writing?
Not the writing. Which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? They give us the clue that if Kazuma tripped and fell and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck. So, thing is, how would you...
The fact that he's face down?
How would you act if you tripped? What would you do if you tripped?
I mean...
Imagine yourself
because
tripping. There is something very unnatural about this. Do you think it is?
I said the fact that he's face down, but you're not going with that. You're...
Yeah, because it's not it. Because there's this specific part I gotten so lost because
You had to look up the tutorial thing?
No. It will give us a clue afterwards. It's exactly as I said. Let me point the writing first because you thought it was the writing first.
Yes!
This word in Russian clearly wasn't written by Kazuma. So if you're looking for something unnatural, that's an obvious point. Very true. It is clearly peculiar, but it's not what I meant by unnatural, I'm afraid. That particularly crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. I mean to identify another point.
Oh, I see.
Imagine, if you will, losing your pudding as yourself. In my opinion, if you landed as the victim appears to have done, it would be most unnatural. I'm sure you'll reach the same conclusion.
How thoughtful you are, Mr. Jones. Thank you for your gentle guidance.
If Kazuma tripped and fell and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? See, it's the same. What do you think, Tara? It's your decision. It's your gameplay right now. The back? Is it the body? Shall we try the body?
I honestly don't know. I would just click whatever I could click on.
It must be here, surely. There's only limited amounts. Allow me to offer you a piece of advice regarding your passage of detection, my dear fellow. When noting a crucial point, it can be helpful to keep your eyes open. They were open. Then it can be equally helpful to use them.
Is the fact that his eyes are closed?
Sorry, I'll try that.
I think it's plain what Mr. Jones means by unnatural, isn't it? A word written in a foreign language underneath his fingertips, surely.
The particular
that's-
crass detail was orchestrated by the culprit. No, I mean to identify another point. Is this the same one?
Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah, it's the
the
same
same.
one. Okay. So it took me quite a while to figure out what he meant. And you know what it is?
I have no clue.
Yeah, it's the new info. Would you land as the victim has? What of your hands?
Oh, the fact that he has a closed hand.
You look like the sort of fellow who stumbled with some regularity. It should be an easy task. Why do I? Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck. Which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? It actually took me like 2 tries to figure this out. And what about the hands? Was my own. Oh, okay, Sherlock. Okay, genius.
Yes!
All right. If he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say. As though he was gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow?
Mr. Sholmes, show us, please.
Why, of course, my dear madam. Why would it keep you in suspense? This is what I found. The other piece of the earring. What does that mean, Terra?
Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle.
What would that mean, Terra?
That means that he was alive when he saw.
That means she's lying! Lying, Brett! Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing. Not so sure. Crescent moon looks familiar somehow. Sure, I've seen it somewhere before. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? A truce is now tantalizingly close. How did that crescent moon came to be in Cosmo's clenched fist? It's the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe, find the answer with your own eyes. Haha!
Yes!
Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear. Even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding it on must have been broken, I suppose. No, what? But looking at your other ear, I noticed a crescent moon. I don't believe it. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there's one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Spavlova, Mr. Isoki must have grasped that crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just a moment before he fell to the floor? In other words, last night in Mr. Isoga's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you are quite literal at arm's length from him. But Then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments?
Oh no.
Angel. No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? We did it! We finally did it, Terra! That was the last!
Is this supposed to be me?
Yeah. It's
When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin, and I could relax after this horrible, long day. Doka, wait!
oh god, I forgot Kazuma's voice. What did I give Kazuma again? Like a like a loud me?
Loud and boisterous and just really confident. I couldn't believe it when
Oops.
she disappeared
Sorry.
through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy. But nothing worked. Dorka would not come back.
What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh. I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
Young man from your country. He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Dorka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave the man's cabin.
Just a moment. Sorry, but
Oh, yes?
I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before.
Ah,
Ah, of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina?
huh? No. I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina?
Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But what are you doing in this ship? I'm sure your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment.
I can't tell him. I have to tell him the truth, and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice.
I see. So you've run away.
Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone.
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
He's going to pull the cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait! I shouted. And then Darker jumped out of my arms and down to the younger man's feet. And as he turned around to look at me, I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me.
And so that's the whole truth. And that's when you went to fetch help from Seaman Strongnov, who was on duty in the passageway.
I heard Nina cry out and thud on the floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said,
Let me be. If they find out, I will be. Please, I have nowhere to go.
So you decided to help. And that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door.
yes. I went into cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina was there. And then I found Stowaway in wardrobe, still sleeping.
You're right. That's when he found me. Sato?
So you worked out a plan. Lay the blame on the stowaway.
I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign.
Luckily for me, that's the only reason Sato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent.
I dragged young man's body to good place and used ink that was peeling to write on floor. I wrote wardrobe, so that person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find stowaway.
And tell me, what of the glass bell?
It was by my feet, so I picked it up.
Oh, I see.
But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half.
Then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished job.
By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway.
Yes.
Accordingly, the Sesburia did indeed come to an emergency halt a little after 2 a.m. Thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the lockroom mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova.
What?
Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. And it's because you were worried that he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Even if he had pulled the belt cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem?
It was what he said first that made me scared.
What he said first? What are you doing here at this time of night? Inspector? Oh. I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
He said an inspector was his friend.
Yes, meaning me. Who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard.
I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, I... May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova?
Finishing this, Keon. We're finishing this. Also, why are you awake?
It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Naruhodo-san?
Are you guys looking at me like that? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but... he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done.
No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There's one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes, what action was the victim really about to take at that moment?
He was going to the wardrobe.
Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in that wardrobe, but still. That cabin has been my home for this entire voyage.
So this is how the cabin looked last night when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama?
Yes, it's exactly how it was. How did you guys know? Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. If there's one thing I've learned today, it's that a simple gaze can reveal all manners of truth. Not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out by even a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma looking at?
The wardrobe.
Oh my god, this is such a sad story.
Take that!
Considering everything that had happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however... what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe.
The wardrobe?
And more importantly, what was inside that wardrobe? This man's great friend, sleeping soundly.
Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night?
Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here.
Another opinion.
Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No,
Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter, to see if between them they might be able to help in some way, no doubt.
Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Osogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had.
Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for your finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did. That will never change. I hope you'll never forget that.
I'm sorry. Really, I'm so sorry. What have I done?
So, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Borea was finally laid to rest.
January 9th, 7:14 p.m. SS Buria first class cabin passageway.
What will happen to Miss Pavlova now, then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Would the Russian try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Schultz can do that? So, she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would have been able to. She ran away, so now she's an exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Strongnov? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you. About how you lost good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste. But... well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Duh. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes. I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect anything different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. Looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it even begun. Then, think that only days ago Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we teared up the streets of London. It seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Susato-san?
Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned.
Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack. You know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that.
I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over. Just like that.
Sato-san.
He had such grand ideas for this great person. So many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away. Just as he has. I thought I could never forget the person responsible, but now... Now I know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. Too much, Naruhodo-san. Just too much.
Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Oh, wait, there's a... Sato?
Inspector?
My duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain. But I failed. And caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I've let everyone down. And I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now, at least. Huh? Ha! Surprise, Mr. Naruhodo? What is the meaning of this? No, all trifling matter. Simply that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry? So I decided to restore them for all time's sake, shall we say? You're a stowaway after all. You think this is funny? Well, that completely ruins the mood.
Mr. Sholmes? We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer you my sincerest condolence? The loss of your companion is truly heart-rending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspiration in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. I have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. Terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. There was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. No. I don't care for me, but... for Sasato-san. Dear fellows, the majority of the problem have an extremely simple solution, you know?
All you require is one lawyer, and our study tour can continue, surely.
But there's no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Shone. We know of no other lawyer.
Yeah, you're right. We should go to Japan. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid.
Oh, but...
But anyways, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourself another suitable lawyer.
Yes?
Mr. Sato? Why did you said Mr. Sato?
Yes?
Sato-san?
It's because there's somebody that doesn't speak Japanese in the room.
Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it?
Huh?
But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there's still more than a month before we reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have 1 month in which to study, to learn what I must become a lawyer in Great Britain.
Naruhodo-san.
That's ridiculous! Are you seriously suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate.
And take the 2-month journey back.
I'll take the 2 months journey back. But why put yourself in such difficult position? Or Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain. And that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just came to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Mrs. Sato?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
She's smiling. Thank you. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, no, no! This is madness! Yet fascinating, would you agree? Fascinating? Duty and rules are the dull routine of exercise that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character, no? And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until this very moment now, despite contending with the passing of his close companion, despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well.
I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector! After all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here.
Oh, thank you, Inspector.
If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report.
Are you really prepared to attempt this, Naruto-san?
Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer?
I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant, after all.
Thank you!
And Naruto-san, I'd like you to take charge of this.
What? Me? Are you sure?
I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asogi clan for generations.
Very well. I accept. I'll treasure it always. So then, Mrs. Sato. It seems... So Sato-san, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet.
It will be an honor, Naruto-san. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study, and you will not leave this room.
No! Yes, that's exactly what I need. More isolation.
Every moment will be study in this room. But
Can
before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too.
Goodness. What is it?
Please throw me to the ground 3 times.
What?
I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But he allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable of the behavior.
No! No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away. And the cabin door was locked.
No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you, and not just once, but 5 times.
Number keeps creeping up, doesn't it?
Please, you must. Just take a hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it.
No, 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 no. I don't even know how. I've never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mrs. Naruto. It isn't a skill one requires without considerable training.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
I observed your thrown technique several times with great interest. I confess I was the most impressed. And did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling?
Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jiu-jitsu technique.
Apparently it's called the Social Takedown. Leaves your head swimming? Believe me.
How beguiling. I am a practitioner for competitive arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on this technique of your arresting throw.
Yes, I'd be honored.
What? What? Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam.
Oh, of course. Are you ready, Naruhodo-san?
Sorry? Wait!
Hiya! As you can see, you throw from the abdomen.
Oh, yes! Arresting indeed! That is what you term the Social Takedown, is it?
Actually, no. That was a Susato squash.
Oh, my back. My groggy state of consciousness. A scene from an evening recently spent with Cosmo flicker into my mind. Karuma. That's right. It's a prize sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely? The Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Oh, of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. An important thing he had to do. I still don't know what that was. I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. Great Britain's capital, London. The end.
At least of that chapter.
Awarded crash course candidate. We just finished the crash course, Terra. Alright. So, what do you think about the story? This is the episode 3. I mean, we can continue it tomorrow if we don't have time now.
Well, it's basically bedtime.
Yeah, it's basically bedtime. So how do you like the story so far?
It is interesting, bit juvenile, but interesting.
Dang, I can't believe he died by an accident. That really kills me that, oh man, you killed him by accident? There was no actual murder? I also feel bad for Pavlova and Strongnov. They didn't mean to do it. It was just an accident. It was so sad. The Adventure of Runaway Room. This one is actually it's one case, I believe. I don't remember if there was any examination, but it was the first time I've ever been to court in London. Oops, that's not the one.
Oops. No, not this one. Here we go. How do you like what's his name? Naruhodo so far.
He's very much a pushover.
How about Susato?
She's the Yamato of Nadeshiko.
Yamato no Deshiko?
Yes.
How about Hosonaga?
Kosunaga?
Yeah.
He's that coworker that never actually does anything.
The coworker that doesn't do anything. Oh, he's just shocked every time he discovered. Oh, I didn't know. Funny story.
I mean, he manages to do some useful things, but he really didn't do much at all.
In terms of the case, but he did give us the modern report.
Yeah. He does manage to get a few helpful things, but
usually that won't be allowed because we were the accused. But
yeah.
Since he did not do his job properly, he owed us something. And he has a copy of it. So he just gave us one copy of it.
Yeah.
And how do you like Herlock Sholmes?
He's a large part of why I think it's juvenile.
So when I first played this, I was wondering, was he just playing around on the first part? It was just making assumptions. Because afterwards, on the final deduction, he actually knows who killed it, and he was just gonna leave it to the Scotland Yard and gave them probably the earpiece and let them discover who the real killer is. So technically, Herlock Sholmes is a genius. He's the fake that we thought he'd be. I really thought it was
I
fake.
mean, he could very well have been doing all of that specifically to push us into such a situation that we would have to prove ourselves. Because it's like, oh dear, our original study student, our original student is now dead. Hey, I've heard good things of this other guy. Let's see him prove himself.
Yeah, you know what? He might actually know that. He might actually know that because you know why? Because Watson was his partner.
Yep.
Then that means he could have known about Naruhodo-san when there was a trial of Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Could be one of them. Man, I just feel sad replaying the chapter 2 again.
Yes,
Just
it was
so
a very
sucked.
sad chapter.
Just stuck.
Not as sad as my D&D game, but getting close.
Is that the what happened? Was there a pet that died?
Well, no one actually ended up dying, but it came really, really close, and we just, yeah.
Really, really close.
And it was just really emotional.
I missed the entire thing. I think I joined you when you were spamming the rain channel points. Because you guys were in the cave or probably a cemetery.
we were in a mausoleum.
A mausoleum.
Yes.
I completely missed that.
Well, a mausoleum is basically crypt. So yes, it's a cemetery. It's just basically a fancy word for a specific building that is in a cemetery.
All right, let me find someone that we can rate today. Is there anyone that we know? Oh, Omario is streaming.
What? Omaru's actually streaming
Yeah,
now?
Guilty Gear. I don't know what's the
What?
uptime. Hang on. It should be an hour? It's been streaming for an hour?
I'm just shocked that he's streaming at this time of day. His normal stream time is like 11 hours from now.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah. But it's something that you don't get to do often, so you can definitely give him a go.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so everyone that's watching, thank you guys so much for watching that. I'm definitely gonna upload that on YouTube so that anyone who doesn't watch my streams, you can watch it there. Unedited. Yes, I don't have time to edit it anymore. All right, Mario. 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 Playing Guilty Gear.
And I guess Sky will probably see everybody tomorrow.
Who?
It's a joke I have with Omaru. I'm just add a T to his name, and it becomes tomorrow.
Oh.
Like tomorrow.
I get it. Okay. So thank you for joining me, Terra. Let's raid tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. It's only a raid of